Hi, this is so cool to meet Emily Giffin. Never met you before.
Hey, I know. I'm excited to be here.
I feel like every woman wants to be your best friend. Have you been getting that after all of your books and your movie?
No, I know. I mean, but I think that I do write very relatable stories. So I think there is this feeling that people, know me after they read a book, which I love.
Now, it took you a long time to get Something Borrowed published.
Right.
What kept you going after being rejected so many times?
Well, I've always wanted to be a writer since I was 5 or 6 years old. But when I was practicing law in Manhattan, I wrote another book. That was the one that was rejected. So my decision to move to London and write Something Borrowed was sort of like, okay, this is it. I'm going to give myself one more year full time. No practicing law, just do this only, and was very lucky with Something Borrowed. When I turned it in, I got a new agent, and then I had multiple offers right away. So this was like the charmed book.
Unbelievable.
The one that I wrote before that was the one that no one wanted to read but my mother.
So now, the movie already getting rave reviews. Did you see People Magazine 3 stars?
Yes, yes. It's tough to get the good reviews with romantic comedies because I think people are so hardwired to believe that romantic comedies are, insipid and boring and formulaic. And I think that's because most are. But I think reviewers kind of go into it thinking that it's going to be another one. And this is different. This is different than what it's more of a romantic dramedy, the director's been saying. And it's a character piece, and it's this ensemble cast, and you don't know who to root for. And you're rooting for different people at different moments in the movie. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't.
Okay,
and I can't wait.
Yeah, I think you're gonna. It's very relatable, and it's smart.
Counting the minutes.
It's a shame that more romantic comedies aren't like this because really, it's a romance that has comedic elements. There's no reason that they all have to be so stupid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, it seems like you really had a hand in the casting and the production of this film, true?
Well, contractually speaking, I had no formal say in anything. And when I signed over my book, and that was it. And it could have been it, and I could have just seen everyone 2 years later at the premiere, which was 2 nights ago, and the most fun I've ever had.
All those pictures, there you are with Hilary Swank and Kate Hudson.
It was so fun. It was unbelievable. But I think what happened was they were filming. Molly Smith and Hilary Swank were doing the Blind Side here in Atlanta,
where you live, which is
right.
So great.
So when they called and said, "Do you want to come down to the set?" It was very organic, sort of natural. We became friends over time, and they began to see me on emails. And what do you think about this? And I think they viewed me as a consultant. I know these characters in this story better than anyone, and it sort of was a conduit too to my very loyal fans. So they would say, put it on Facebook, see what everyone thinks about this person in this role or this person, and they used that as a resource. And in turn, I think I was very careful to I guess know my place,
Sure.
To never say this isn't what happens in the book, or this isn't, because I'm not a filmmaker and I don't do this for a living. So it was like, this is my opinion. And at one point it was very fun. We were on this conference call. It was the two of the producers and the director, Luke Greenfield, and I, and we were having a discussion about the script, what the chronology of when something should happen. Should it be this way or this way? And I was arguing for it one way, and the other three were in the other camp. And the director pointed out that I was arguing for how it was not in the book. Like, I was the only one in favor of changing the book. And I'm like, well, I could have done it better. So I don't think I was ever sort of constrained by the idea that it had to be like the book.
Did you have these actresses in mind for the characters? Were you satisfied with the female leads, Kate Hudson and Ginnifer Goodwin?
Sure. I mean, it's funny because when I wrote the book, I never, you just hope that someone will want to read it other than your immediate family.
Sure.
So I never thought about casting at that point, So, and if I had, I would have made that main character, Darcy, a blonde, because it's so much easier to cast a blonde, in that role than a brunette. So, but yes, aside from hair color, which everyone sort of had to get over on Facebook, I had to reassure people, like, do you want the essence of the character captured, or do you want her hair to match?
Funny.
But so that was the only sort of difference. But yes, they were both, honestly, I can say this, I mean, it sounds so far-fetched. They were honestly both, they were my first choice for each role.
Well, I spoke to Ginnifer Goodwin actually earlier this week, and
she's awesome, isn't
here's
she?
what she had to say about you. Take a listen.
First of all, incredibly, I could not respect her more for doing what she's done. She's crazy talented, and on top of that, she's fun, and vivacious and good and beautiful. You will absolutely adore her. But I'm really proud of her. I'm so impressed with her success, with what she's been able to do, and also while really taking Chicklet to a whole new level.
Well, that's so nice of her. She called me beautiful.
You are beautiful.
Well, I mean, she is so stunningly gorgeous.
That one.
And it's funny, too, because my kids I have 7-year-old twins and a 3-year-old daughter. And the only thing that they're impressed with this whole thing is that Aunt Bee from Ramona and Beezus is in the movie.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They're like, that's Aunt Bee
that's
with longer
hysterical.
hair.
Meanwhile, you have really put Atlanta on the map as far as being an author here. There was a fantastic spread in Vanity Fair that you were in. How cool was that, doing that shoot?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and there are such great, it was all women shoot, but there are so many authors here, and it's really become sort of a, the place to be for writers. But in general, I think it's the place to be. I mean, this city is awesome, and it's just filled with so many talented, interesting people, and I love going to LA and New York for my writing and for this movie stuff, but this is the best place to raise a family and to be and to live. So
now
I'm thrilled to be part of it.
You have your success and you can remain pretty much anonymous. I mean, people know you and they love you and they see you. But if you're on a beach or on a resort and you see people reading your books, do you just want to say, "How you liking it?"
Well, I do say that.
You do?
In fact, of course. Do you like it? And if they say it's okay, I'm just kidding. They usually recognize me at that point. But that is the nice part about being an author, though. You're no one really. I mean, how many authors do you know what they look like? Maybe John Grisham
or Stephen King,
J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Everyone would recognize her.
Right.
But other than that, you can kind of fly under the radar, which is good because, most of the time I'm not really looking like my retouched book jacket image.
But you still, I mean, I would like to look like you every day. And
same here.
It's a mutual love. Yeah. Now, when you meet people, are you thinking, if you meet somebody interesting, do you think to yourself, "Ooh, I could write a book around this," or is it pretty much you just start from scratch?
No, I think that there's only so many plots out there, right? I mean, and there's only so many, relationship dynamics. And so it's just a question of combining those factors in an interesting way, and so that it resonates with me as I write. And I think that's the key. If you can find that interest as you write, then chances are your readers will feel the same. An example of that is in Something Borrowed. Jennifer Goodwin plays the good girl, the best friend, who falls in love with Kate Hudson's fiance. And for her entire friendship, going back to the time they were 5 years old, she's always been sort of second fiddle. Darcy, the Kate Hudson, is taken from her and been the star of the show. And finally, the night of her 30th birthday, she sort of, does something, off her moral compass.
Right.
When she, she
has a hookup.
Winds up in bed with her best friend's fiance. So,
right.
And when I started writing that book, of course, I thought of it in the reverse. So I had these characters, and it was Kate Hudson doing that to Jennifer Goodwin's character.
Right.
And to flip it on its head, I think made it, just that minor little change really changed I think that's what has appealed to people about this, because good people do bad things.
Totally.
Make mistakes. And we, we pull for our mothers and our sister and our best friends, even when they're screwing up royally. We don't just sort of write them off as,
right. So being
unworthy.
Flawed is normal.
Being flawed is normal. It really is.
Well, it is.
Except, in our case, we're perfect all the time.
Perfect. At pure perfection. Well, it is such a pleasure meeting you.
Well, thank you.
The book, Something Borrowed, an international bestseller. I mean, how many languages is the book in?
I think it's 33 now. So
that or what?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Which shows you, though, how universal these themes are, which are
love is love, right?
Well, love is love,
and betrayal,
and complicated female friendships, where women can, we have that one friend who we love and hate, and we can't quite get rid of them, right?
And know the feeling,
right?
Emily Giffin,
and she knows you're talking about her
now
too.
No, she doesn't know that at all.
That's the credit. Isn't that crazy? Yes. They never do.
Well, unless you write a book about it, then everybody will know. It's so great to meet you, and congratulations on the book.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you, and everybody see the movie. I am running out to see this immediately.